All right, everybody. I think we're just gonna give Theseus 1 second to get back on stage and fix his microphone real quick. We'll be started in a second.
Hello. Can I be heard now? Okay, wonderful. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out to this joint press conference. All questions for myself or the chief will be answered after we are both finished speaking. There are a few topics I'd like to cover tonight for the FBI side of this press conference, starting off with a nomination sent to the Senate regarding the deputy director. Tim, can you still hear me? Yes, okay. Tim has been a great and consistent help during my tenure as director. He has been extremely helpful and efficient in his duties. Furthermore, continuing more additions to our command team, Mr. Machiavelli, who was meant to be here tonight, has recently returned as Chief of Staff, another great help. The next thing I'd like to speak about is the work that we've accomplished since I've taken up the position of Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Originally, the FBI lacked a solid and active command structure. This resulted in negligence and improper training for some of our agents. I can firmly and confidently say that we are not only keeping up very up to speed on the duties and tasks required, but also ensuring that every single agent is properly trained to do their job. Agents previously had their activity go unchecked and unnoticed, while they are now held to activity standards. In my confirmation hearing, I stated that I would work with other departments and law enforcement agencies to further cooperation. This has been largely improved with our agents showing up to more events and assisting their primary agency in charge of them. Alongside that, I plan on continuing to do events together with other departments like this one we are doing with MPD today. The FBI is always on the lookout for new talent wishing to join the Bureau. If you are interested in joining our team, our employment examination is always open to those who meet the requirements. We encourage you to take it if you are interested in joining us. Applications will be checked tomorrow, and then we'll continue to follow the normal reviewing schedule. Finally, the FBI has declassified some files which can be found on the Intelligence Community Public Hub Notion. Thank you, and we'll now hear from the Chief of Police, Ender Mastery.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Director. I'm assuming everyone can hear me. Yes, after they kill this criminal. All right, they got it. All right. So thank you, Mr. Director, for that insightful information into the current workings of the Bureau. So members of the public, it is my privilege to announce our newest reforms to you that have been implemented by me and my new command staff. Today with me, actually, Executive Assistant Chief Haste Anarchy, as well as Assistant Chief Longshot. So they have been a huge help in these reform implementations, and they will be working alongside me to hopefully make MPD prosper. So as you have seen in my announcement to the public, the Metropolitan Police Department has undergone extensive reforms that have changed the current structure of the police department itself. We have established a patrol-centric rank structure focusing the entirety of the department on the responsibility that matters above all, protecting and serving the people of Washington. This new structure has the department split into two operations units, both tasked with the open patrol and law enforcement duties that every MPD officer has the responsibility of executing. So, with this, we aim to foster a community of friendly competition within the department while also creating a unified force that stands for the same purpose. In addition, we have narrowed down the rank structure and have effectively terminated the ranks of Deputy Chief of Police, Inspector, and Chief of Staff, as well as any other civilian-related role in MPD. The Police Department has also terminated the divisions of Training and Development and Internal Affairs. I have spoken with the Commissioner of SIGI, and we will be deferring any report matters on officers to a more independent and external organization, more equipped legally to handle proper punitive procedures. This organization being the Office of the Inspector General for the Department of Justice. Instead of training and development, we have created a brand new training officer system, prioritizing real in-game experience with senior officers over studying pages of documents and not remembering half of what you looked at in any real scenario. Several assignable duties will also be made available to MPD officers on top of their usual patrol duties. Some of these currently include police pilots, which will be a drawn contract and agreement with DHS, as well as a public information officer spot and a couple of internal affairs officers. However, these internal affairs officers will not function like the old internal affairs system did, but rather will work with one of the assistant chiefs to prescribe and maintain ethical procedures in the department while also ensuring full compliance with all OIG audits and investigations. So collectively, the Metropolitan Police Department will see the final implementation of its new structure, removal of divisions, rank assignments, discord changes, and new responsibilities and documents, all within the next 24 hours, with the majority already being complete. So that concludes my section of the press conference. Thank you all. Mr. Director, I'll hand it back over to you for a period for any questions.
Okay, do we have any questions? Please either stand or say in chat. Hyper, I believe. How long do tickets typically take to be fully processed? Okay, so that often varies depending on what is being asked in the ticket. I would say usually 2 weeks is normally the most it would take. Okay, anybody else? These are questions for me or Ender.
Yeah, if you have any for
Ray?
MPD or FBI, feel free to ask me now.
Okay, Ray, you go ahead.
So if you're not in game, you can just ping us in Discord.
That is something I cannot inform you about. I will say we are quite efficient nowadays with completing them. I believe that's 9. Okay, great question. Again, I cannot speak on any tickets or tips that we may or may not have received, but the Attorney General recently released a message regarding, I don't remember what the US code for it is. Nathan, I believe you had a question. Oh yeah, Mr. President, Sheriff Nathan. How confident am I in Tim as my deputy director? Fully, 100%. He's done great work already, and I think we'll be able to do even more as deputy director. I am very excited to be working with the newly reformed MPD. I'm hoping to get a few more events with them Director Scott, you had a question? What is a big goal we can expect to see from the FBI? Well, one big thing I want to do is more community outreach, as I don't even want to look when the last press conference was. That's the big thing I want to do is get like more presence in game. Sorry, they're moving a rock. It's very interesting. 9. The shell of a vehicle.
I think there's some useful teamwork going on outside right now.
Whether or not I believe it is worthful, what do you say? Believe worth inviting Tim. Okay. That would be up to the Senate. I think hearings can obviously get a lot of information. So if you guys do want more information on Tim or whatnot, then go for a hearing. I know I am fully confident in him though. Veteran, the Honorable Sheriff Nathan, President of the United States. For Ender, okay, wonderful.
Ah, amazing. Okay. What is your question, Mr. President?
It's Veteran, the Honorable Sheriff Nathan.
Okay. Did they get that inside?
Unfortunately, they have.
What are your major goals with MPD? Thank you, Mr. President. Our major goals right now are sort of what I explained, making the department overall just more patrol-centric, focusing more on that patrol element and law enforcement element and having that presence on DC. I think bringing back consistent MPD activity, having a lot of people on team, and being able to show up at pretty much every DC event. That's kind of the primary focus that we're going on, is just making MPD an overall more active and welcoming force to veterans and new players to our community. If that fully answers your question. Sure, another question. Policy. You guys look awful. Well, only if the executive starts enforcing a no mustache policy, Nathan, because I think you need to save as well. Anyways, I have another question that got pinged to me by our executive assistant, Mr. Haste Anarchy. He asked, what is the MPD weed policy? MPD does not condone any use of illicit material, as that is not sanctioned in our department regulations. However, Mr. Anarchy is our resident unknown substance tester. So if you can see by looking at his face, that's why he looks that way. But yeah, anyways, do we have any other questions from anyone in the room or over Discord? You can just ping myself or Theseus. We'll go Director Scott first, and then we'll go to U9. Oh, we also have one more in the back. What can we expect from you personally when it comes to new applicants for MPD? Well, with the applicant system itself, we will be firstly, I have to get everything sorted with permissions and access to the applications and whatnot. But the our priority right now is transferring application review power to the command team. So we should have multiple people actively reviewing applications and making sure we can get an influx of new recruits in. From me personally, I'll be doing my part and reviewing applications from time to time when they need to be reviewed. I know we have a few built up right now, so once I get access to everything, we will make sure to review the current applications and then proceed with normal recruitment procedures. Yes, I'm assuming this is a follow-up question. We'll go to you next time. What is some of the main goals you have achieved? Well, currently in MPD, I mean, I've only been here for a few days, but so far, definitely just kind of implementing this whole reform system, coming up with the concept. We created a lot of this from scratch. It took a while in discussion, refining situations with the current department structure, and just coming up with this new core system that we're operating on with the 2 operations units, as opposed to a structure with multiple divisions. That's probably the biggest thing so far. And then we'll go ahead and go over to Mr. 9, Mr. President Pro Tempore. You say that a lot of the divisions are being removed, but I was wondering about who in MPD would deal with the more high-stakes emergencies. Could you elaborate on what you mean by that in terms of, like, are we talking in-game? Are we talking problems with higher command, or? SWAT and SOG has been a thing for a while, but gets removed and comes back. Just wondering on your thoughts on SWAT and would it come back under your leadership? There are currently no plans to reopen any SWAT or higher enforcement team. I believe SRT is fully capable of handling the majority of that, as we have some of them present with us today. It's more useful for us to dedicate our officers towards that patrol-centric system, as I talked about. But yeah, yes, I think
I
we have
believe
someone else in the
somebody's
back
been
with another
standing.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9, you just do this quick and then we'll go to the other person as well. Yes, the gentleman over there, yeah. Okay. I'm not sure what your name is, but the man in the back with the red and white striped shirt, you may ask your question. When you mentioned being more patrol focused, does that mean y'all plan on enforcing more traffic laws as well? I mean, in some respects, I guess yes. I mean, I don't intend on performing any additional traffic duties on top of what MPD already is responsible for. When I say more patrol centric, I primarily mean that the department is going to be focused on the patrol aspect as opposed to like training and development and internal affairs and stuff like that. So everyone in the department, their primary job is patrol and activity on DC law enforcement. And that is kind of what I'm looking for. But yes, I mean, regular traffic enforcement will still happen in compliance with the US code and usual violations. But you'll also see more unique events from MPD showing up at community events, ride-along opportunities, potentially doing some non-VIP escorts when there's high crime, as well as, you know, things like checkpoints and other events like this. think 9 had a second question first. We'll go back to 9, and then we'll go to you, Director Scott. Say that SRT is able to handle the more high-risk operations that SWAT could have done, but I can say that the current SRT online are bad, and I would be willing to 1v1 all of them on future tops. How do you feel on this? I feel like that is something that you should talk to the SRT commander about, and not me. Director Scott, go ahead and ask your question. I believe that's Mr. Muhammad in the back. We will get to him after. Will you guys be opening a CV for the highways? Oh, department. Oh, commercial and vehicle enforcement. I mean, here's the thing. The majority of things that are happening within MPD, the actual patrol elements are going to probably remain the same for the most part. Anything that's involving traffic violations, traffic enforcement, up into combating crime, robberies, and that stuff, it's all going to be fundamentally the same. The whole thing that's just happening is we're going to have more officers on the street and more officers actively on DC. We don't plan on implementing any additional sectioning features or anything like that. Another question. And as community engagement, I think that is a phenomenal idea. I know this chair is here, Mr. Raleigh Devs, so I would not mind approving ride-alongs in compliance with the law. Take a look at and stream to the public or give them an insider view of some of the life of an MPD officer. All right. I don't see anyone immediately standing up. Does anyone have any additional questions for myself or the director, either in-game or over Discord? This is the last call for any questions. I'm not 9. Yes. Is this an actual question? Okay. Go ahead and ask. While you're typing that, Tio, if you have a real question, you can go ahead and send it in general or wherever. Okay. I'm not going to answer that. Not going to mediate that offer. So, anyways, I don't see any serious questions remaining. So, Mr. Director, is there anything else you'd like to say? Or
I will answer Tio's question. Would I rather have $1 or $2? I personally would go with $1 because I feel like it would have more personal value.
the same question. Would you rather be Senate confirmed or un-Senate confirmed, Mr. Tio? Anyways, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up here. So thank you all for attending this press conference. Thank you for all the officers. And I know we have another FBI agent who's online as well for showing up. And just everyone who's here in general. We look forward to having a lot of fun in the community over the next few months. and just developing a strong law enforcement fighting force. So yeah, thank you all. Mr. Director, is there anything you'd like to say to close?
No, that is it. Don't get shot on your way out.
All right, thank you all.
Hello, Ryan Eric. What if it was a $2 bill? That's actually, huh. I think the $2 bill, they're cooler.